You are going to love what we got in store for you today. I am so glad that you've joined us with Bible Alive. Stay tuned because we'll be right back.
Welcome to the last study Bible you'll ever need. The New Remnant Study Bible has all the study aids serious Bible students have come to expect, like book introductions and outlines, an extensive concordance, over 40,000 cross-references, words of Christ in red, maps and charts. But with hundreds of other study Bibles on the market, the Remnant Study Bible stands head and shoulders above the rest. Not only because it's everything you've always needed in a study Bible, but because it takes studying the Bible to an entirely new level. From the hottest pen since the Bible prophets, the masterful commentary of E.G. White is now included, alongside the New King James Bible text. As you read, these thought-provoking nuggets stand out from the main Bible text and offer spirit-filled insight to bring text to life in an inspiring and practical way. If we stopped right there, this Bible would be an invaluable resource to every home. But keep watching, we're just getting started. The Remnant Study Bible offers extensive study tools that not only help you understand, but also enable you to share these truths with others in a whole new and effective way. Feel confident as you share on topics such as the prophecies in Daniel chapters 2, 7, and 8, and the 2300-day prophecy. See the plan of salvation plainly revealed in the sanctuary and study the miracles and parables of Jesus in a deeper way than ever before. Remnant has teamed with Thomas Nelson Publishers, working together for over a year, making this the best study Bible ever offered at any price. The Apostle Peter makes a bold call to all generations to be part of God's Special Forces team. We have done our very best to provide you with the most powerful sword of truth available. Now the decision is in your hands. Will you accept the challenge to become part of God's last day army? Equip yourself today.
Today, we're going to finish up the rest of the story, so to speak, of the Remnant Rally message. I hate to leave you hanging. I hate to be left hanging, but we only have so much time. Weren't you blessed with last week's message, what you heard of it? And now you can hear the rest of the story. For those of you that are just tuning in today for the first time, you're going to get the second part of this tremendous message. But right on your screen right now, you can either contact us at 1-800-423-1319 or get on the website at www.remnantpublications.com and get the DVD with the whole message. And also, for those of you that have watched it and are going to see the second part of this, you can get it too and share it with your friends and neighbors. Let's get the message out like the leaves of autumn. Right now, we're going to get back into the second part of the message. I know that you're going to be blessed by this.
The God that we serve is infinitely holy. And while we spend our time talking about the fact that God is love, and indeed He is, something we have to come to grips with is this. If we were immediately at this moment brought into the presence of the Almighty, we would fall down on our faces before Him terror-stricken, not because God is trying to inspire terror, but just because of the awesomeness of the situation. Brothers and sisters, would to God that zeal for His house would eat us up today. Because there's a lot of unholy traffic taking place in the temples today, in God's churches around. It's an abomination what's taking place in many churches that are called by God's name. They've become entertainment centers. There's unholy traffic taking place every time God's people come to worship. Mothers and fathers who should be parenting those children. Well, I don't want to upset my child. You're going to be upset when the tears are rolling down your face and they're outside the city. And I'd be accountable to God if I didn't tell you that this morning. Brothers and sisters, we have unholy traffic filling the soul temple. And most of all, with everything that I mentioned, the strongest point I can make about all of it, well, what does it all matter? The Christian church was raised up for the purpose, Jesus' mission was that his glory would shine in us and we would proclaim the gospel to all the world in this generation. Go ye therefore, Jesus said. How can we go therefore when we are so filled and consumed with the world? It's impossible. And there are people who are dying, who are perishing for want of the light of truth. This is what Jesus saw as he came in the temple. This is what incensed him. Not only was the temple full of unholy traffic, it was full of unholy traffic because the hearts of his people were full of unholy traffic. Even the priests that should have been teaching the people, because they didn't want to offend anybody. And when Jesus came in and his divinity shone through humanity, they saw themselves in their true light. What's fascinating about the story of the cleansing of the temple, if you go to Matthew's cleansing of the temple, Matthew 21, which I'm not going to do at this time, is you see that as the scribes and the rulers were fleeing the temple, there was another class of people that were drawn to the temple, which is absolutely fascinating. See, I hear this today. Well, Pastor, if you preach like that, you're going to chase people out of church. Hey, Jesus did it, so I guess I'm in good company. But listen carefully, while those who didn't want the gospel truth, who took for granted the truth they had, were running from the temple, there was another class running to the temple. The Bible says they were the lame and the blind and the ones who realized that they needed help from Christ. They were drawn. So one group's running, but it didn't hinder the other group from coming. Desire of Ages, page 592, puts it this way. On the way from the temple, they were met by a throng who came with their sick, inquiring of the great healer. They're running. Jesus has cleansed the temple. The divinity's flashing for us. Here comes another group. They're coming for healing. Now listen, the report given by the fleeing people caused some of these to turn back. They feared to meet one so powerful. That's what happens today. We got people fleeing from the commandments of God. We got people fleeing from the requirements of God and saying, oh, don't go to that church. They're too strict. Oh, I guess I don't want to do that. It's going to ruin my life. Since when has the truth of God ruined anybody's life? Whose argument is that? That's the devil's in the beginning. Well, listen, when you disobey God, that's when you're going to have a true experience. In the day that thou eat thereof, then you'll be like God. They feared to meet one so powerful, whose very look had driven the priests and rulers from his presence. But listen, but a large number pressed through the hurrying crowd, eager to reach him who was their only hope. Amen. And there are people in this world today that are wanting to meet him who's their only hope. Are we leading them that direction to him, or are we the people that are chasing them away? Are we doing anything to reach the world around us? Brothers and sisters, Jesus is coming soon, and he's seeking to prepare this world for his coming. He wants to make every man, woman, child a dwelling place for his Spirit. He entered up in this work of cleansing. By the incarnation, John says, the Son of God, the purpose of heaven is fulfilled. Listen, God dwells in humanity. Reading again from Desire of Ages 161. God dwells in humanity, and through saving grace, the heart of man becomes again his temple. God designed that the temple at Jerusalem should be listen carefully, a continual witness to the high destiny open to every soul. Brothers and sisters, I can't appeal to you strongly enough this morning. Jesus sees every child of humanity, listen carefully, not for what they are, but for what they might become through him. Jesus doesn't look at the drug addict like a drug addict. Jesus looks at the drug addict and sees where that drug addict would be through his grace. A temple for the indwelling of his Spirit, a mighty worker in his cause. Jesus doesn't look at the harlot and the promiscuous man or woman who's given their life over to sexual immorality.